Shake it up. Shaking up the garbage we feed on. Shaking up our wondrous being. Let's begin to reform. Even if just for a moment, to share the cloying and the suffocating skin. Let's shake it up right now. Let's shake it up right now. Let's shake it up right now. Shake it up. Languishing in thoughts, lucidity doesn't benefit the great.
Welcome to the Creative Shake-Up podcast. I'm recording a short intro and outro, an incredible discussion with Tony Curley, who tours the Magical Mystery Tours in Liverpool. Incredible history, incredible knowledge, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you. And there will be a special outro. Michelle, my partner Michelle, bought me a Christmas gift / birthday gift all in one, which was the Magical Mystery Tour. I'm not going to share in the outro video all aspects of it, because I would strongly encourage you to take the tour. And there is also an interesting piece of music. But we'll dive into the interview now with Tony, and I'll share a little bit about how to make your own society, the accompanying music for the outro, some of the experiences we had on a magical day, on a Magical Mystery Tour, which was actually on Christmas Eve. Let's now join with Tony, and Tony will share some of the tours, some of his experience, and a lot more. Look forward to sharing that with you now. It's a beautiful downhill slope from now.
Yeah, hopefully.
we've done the toughest bit, which is pressing the right buttons. Yeah.
Certainly, yeah. When we were on lockdown, I was doing it with about 20 people, and
Wow.
the stream when people were trying to talk and that. So this is quite easy. This one now.
Laid back. Yeah, the other 18 are joining us in a moment. I didn't tell you
right.
that, did I? But you're used to dealing with a lot of people, so I want to introduce you, Tony Curley. Are you okay if I say Tony?
Yeah, sure.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
People can find you either Tony or Anthony Curley.
Yeah,
Yourself?
Tony Curley normally, I think.
Yeah.
It might be Anthony Curley on Facebook and that. So
Yeah. But you're here, you're there, you're everywhere.
yeah, bit of a Beatles job there.
Indeed, indeed, we're straight out the gate already, and
I was working for them the last couple of days as well on the top. So
yeah, I want to introduce you and explain as I do introduce you that this is a title, not a description of you as a person. But I'd like you then to begin by telling us a little bit about you. But before I introduce what you do, which I kind of can do it together, I'll introduce how I met you. And that will tell people what you do. So my partner Michelle bought for me as a birthday present a Magical Mystery Tour.
what a birthday present as well.
It was absolutely incredible. We stayed at the Shankly Hotel the night before the tour. So there's a shout out to another establishment. And then we came and joined you on, I don't know whether to call it a bus or a coach.
It's a coach, yeah.
It's a coach, yeah. I thought that was a case better description. So we joined the tour. It was the 30th of December, because it was the day after my birthday and the day before New Year's Eve. And you were the tour guide, and that's the bit where I think that's just an easy kind of throwaway. It's a bit like saying I'm a singer-songwriter, it doesn't describe everything. Is that a reasonable description of what you do?
Yeah, we normally say blue badge guide. It's a proper national qualification. So,
Got you.
So the Magical Mystery Tour are very lucky to have me sometimes, being a blue badge guide.
And tell us a bit about that, because I don't know about that. I have checked you out, and I've seen this blue badge guide, and That's a great thing to find out about.
Yeah, it's a national qualification. The main place is in London. You do have a website, but I was looking for my profile the other day, and for some reason it's disappeared off their list. So I'll have to get in touch with them. But it's a national qualification, and you guide for certain areas. So as a Blue Badge guide, I can only guide in the Merseyside area and surrounding areas. I can't go to London and guide or any other place. Although we do that if we have a group or normally it's Americans that want a specific tour, like going up the Lake District, or you might want to come down to Abbey Road, so I'll do that and talk about everything on the way down, type of thing, or on the way up, depending on where they're going.
Interesting. That makes real sense. Of course, the geography of the Beatles, and so much, Tony, that I get a feeling. I often say this when I do these, by the way, that I think we'll have another episode in the future, because we have, within a brief period of time, a lot to capture, and that includes your life. And basically, the way I describe my experience of the tour is, we didn't just drive around Liverpool. There were stops. We got out to places. We looked at houses. Tell us a little bit more about how those tours work, and also other things you do as well, please.
Yeah, the Magical Mystery Tour is a 2-hour tour of all Beatle-related things in Liverpool. So you go to Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields, you get to see all the houses where they were born, where they grew up, some of the schools and colleges they went to, and then we finished the tour back in the centre of the famous Cavern Club, which is the third resurrection of the Cavern Club.
Yeah. I love that. The third resurrection of the Cavern Club. Yeah. Brilliant. But still felt, because obviously I'm not from around these parts, because I had a conversation with you based in Blackpool from the south of the UK, and for me, I wouldn't describe myself as definitely not a Beatles aficionado, definitely not. A Beatles fan in terms of the incredible songwriters that they were and are. And as a songwriter, it's just incredible. You just can't ignore. I think even people that don't like the Beatles, which some exist, you cannot ignore their influence, and not just music, fashion, culture. So to meet you and not just go on a tour where somebody's blurbing out information, but approachable, a number of people from all over the world, and you're interacting and engaging, and that takes a real skill, that takes a real qualification to do what you did. And I just want to take this time, because it's coming to me now, this is what I do. I just wanted to thank you so much for what was a really, really special experience.
Oh, you're welcome. I think most people in Liverpool can talk. Talking with the facts is the better thing, if you know what I mean. So, I think with the Cavern Club, I used to drink in the Cavern Club, I'd say when I was about 15 or 16 years old. So I had that knowledge of the Cavern anyway, and I knew it was the birthplace of we say the birthplace of the Beatles. It wasn't really.
Okay.
They just became associated with the Cavern because they played there 292 times. Yeah. But they played the Casbah Club under every name they had. So, really speaking, the Cavern Club, the Casbah Club was more the place. But the Casbah Club was only like a little tiny cellar. It only holds about, if you're lucky, about 100 people. And that's all squashed in. So it was just Mona Best, Pete Best's mother's house, and she just used the cellar for Pete and his friends to practice in, and then it became like a little coffee club, and then the next minute it had about 4,000 members. That's all the group started playing there. But a tiny little stage. In fact, if you had two guitarists on the stage, you wouldn't be able to turn or nothing. You'd have to stay in the one position. Well, I think that's, I'd say the Quarrymen, they wasn't under that name, but they actually opened the Casbah Club officially 29th of August 1959. So, and they'd split up at this point, but George Harrison got them back together. So George Harrison was my favourite Beatle. I think I might have told you this anyway.
You did, and we had a conversation around that, and you said you knew George as well.
Yeah. But I think George sort of got them back together because they were going their own ways at this point. You know, nothing was really happening for them. And it was George got them back together to do this gig, and then they became the resident band for a little while there.
So tell us a little bit, because we're kind of moving into that naturally now anyway, which I love. I always love not just what somebody does. I like finding out what people do, but I also importantly like sharing with the audience that we're sharing this with why somebody has come to what they do. So I want to kind of get a context of, you said you were drinking at the Cavern 15, I think that's the age you said?
Yeah, 15 and 16. I was underage, but...
That's all right, we're at different times, different times. But, or maybe not, but you were around the Beatles. You certainly knew George Harrison.
The Beatles had left the Cavern at this point, to be honest with you. So
okay,
the last gig they done was the 3rd of August 63.
Yeah.
I didn't start drinking there till the end of that, the very late 60s, just going into 70.
So where did you meet George then? Where did you meet George?
He came into the Cavern Club, although they have no recollection. I've looked at the records of the Cavern because, the Cavern Club owns the Magical Mystery Tour. And
I didn't know that. Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, they say the Magical Mystery Tour is owned by the Cavern Club.
Okay.
And they said, we have a record, they have of all the bands that played there, but he wasn't playing with the bands. He just came in off the cuff type of thing. So, but I have this conversation with people, and I know my sisters were there as well, because they, religiously said, no, he was there standing next to us, like, so, my recollection is not as great as it should be, but I do remember him standing right by me. Like, I didn't speak to him, but I'd love to, I think I was too young really to engage. It wasn't till really a bit later in the early 70s when bands, the likes of Thin Lizzy and Mungo Jerry, bands like that, I was actually talking to them. You could actually go over and talk to the bands that were playing there, get their, musical preferences, what kicked them off. And so Phil Lynott, also Thin Lizzy, was one of my favourites, because we like to just pint of Guinness and have a good conversation.
Me too, by the way. We'll sup one at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds good.
I'll have my coffee for now, though.
Yeah, I'll have my water. I'm going even better there. Get me, teetotal me, water. It is water, honest Gov. So, yeah, I mean, that's... I found it... it's not a pun, honestly. I found it magical meeting you. It's not a pun. That's the first thought I had, and the whole way that you delivered what you did. But it is an experience. That's the way I describe it. The tour was an experience, and then I shared with you, which is not me going off into one, because we will briefly touch on this. I remember laying down one night in bed, and John Lennon was the one for me, and still is, in terms of as a human being, and what he represented, and the things he said particularly. And I'll come on to something else in a moment, because that's coming to my mind as well, that I laid down one night, closed my eyes, and I saw George Harrison, and it was like face. I was like, wow. I started writing a poem. I've done nothing with it. I've not put any music to it or anything else, and I shared it with you, and you had the good grace during your busy time, because you've got lots of people to think about, and then we talked about, and then you said, you stood next to George Harrison, and it was like, for me, I was just thinking, how incredible it was to be there and to meet you and experience the places, experience your knowledge and the feeling. That's why I say it was a magical experience. It really was.
I think for me, it's being a Blue Badge Guide, and certainly during the Magical Mystery and the Beatles tours, it's like a privilege. and I get to meet all these amazing people that come to Liverpool, and most of them come from different parts of the world. In fact, the last 2 days on it, there's hardly been any English people on it. They've just come from, well, you know, there's been lots of Americans and that, but, you know, from Canada, South America, Spain. And it's like ticking a bucket list for them. You want to come and see where the Beatles, and to me, I sort of think, you know, they might have waited. This might be a once-in-a-lifetime chance for them to come to Liverpool. So I want to give them the best possible tour they could possibly have. And certainly if it's a Beatles, it doesn't matter necessarily if it's a Beatles tour, even if it's just about Liverpool, I still have that same philosophy. I want them to really enjoy it and think, wow, isn't that a lovely place to be? So.
And you really did achieve that from my experience and being around others, witnessing them likewise. And so, are you aware of a film, I can't remember when it was out, a film called Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were watching them filming that, and I did speak. I did speak to them when they were filming.
Seriously? Wow.
And he was saying, you know, it's about the Beatles, but it's an alternative reality.
Yeah.
And he was sort of looking at him thinking, it was Paul Curtis and who's the other guy? Just off the kind of thing. Was it Frank Boyle or something? Frankie Boyle? I can't remember who it was. That was the actual. It'll come to me in a minute.
Yeah.
But we were talking, and he was saying, you know, you mightn't get it because it's like an alternative. Yeah. And when we went away, I was thinking, it doesn't sound very good. But when I watched the film, I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
It's genius, isn't it?
Phone pinging away there.
It's genius.
Yeah, I thought it was really good Yesterday.
The concept, without a spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Yesterday, is the alternate reality is a world without the Beatles.
Yeah.
So there's this jobbing singer-songwriter, I can't remember what the character's name is, really well portrayed.
He amazed me, because I had the vision of him, you know, when it was EastEnders, I thought I could see him as a singer, sort of songwriter, and he played the part. Absolutely brilliant.
It was amazing, wasn't it? And he was he did it well because he wasn't doing very well. Yeah. He wasn't doing at all well. He was trying to make his way in the music business and wasn't doing at all well. Then, again, spoiler alert.
Like most musicians, by the way.
Well said. Yeah, well said. He gets knocked off his bike and wakes up, and the reality that he wakes up in, the Beatles have never existed. But the interesting thing is, throughout the film, therefore, bands like Oasis didn't exist. And the premise of the film is, because of this lack of existence of the Beatles, then therefore all of these other things didn't happen. And I think that's such a poignant, incredible reminder of so many things. The Beatles, yes, but so many other things as well. This proximate cause of events that happen that lead on to something else. And because there's such a strong influence, the film is absolutely brilliant. He starts playing Yesterday, hence the film. And they're round a table and they're kind of saying, it's all right. And he gets upset because he says, it's not all right. He said, it's Yesterday. It's one of the best songs ever written. So you must have that feeling yourself in terms of, you've already talked about the privilege of sharing that with others, and your knowledge, your awareness, your proximity of where you are, and I think it sounds to me like blood and breathing. You know, the passion that I felt come from you. Are there other things you do as well as the tour, the Magical Mystery Tour I'm talking about, that create awareness of others of the incredible legacy and the detail of that legacy?
I think, you know, it was funny because one of the guys on the tour, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, I started bringing other musical groups from Liverpool into it. I think it just depends sometimes on the time and how the tour's going.
Yeah.
And I like to engage with people as well, like yourself. If you start asking me questions, you sometimes get away sort of a little bit from what you were going to say. and then you start going into more detail about different things.
Yeah.
And it's just things like about certain songs, like, you know, when John wrote "Listen, do you want to know a secret you promised not to tell," which wasn't a song they really wanted. So they give it to Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas, and then you say, "Hello, little girl," you know, the tremolo, not the tremolos, the foremost. But it's things like that. And but talking about the tremolos, it was funny because they got the gig really at EMI originally, you know, to the contract to record, and he didn't want the Beatles, so it was the tremolos, I think, that got the contract.
Wow.
Originally.
Yeah, and that again, that insight of lyrical expressions and where they come from, and these are words and sounds of an incredible amount of people's lives all over the world. And I think, you know, there was a track you played, and I can't remember what it was, but it was one that was kind of almost like an initial demo of the Beatles.
It wasn't. Was it "In Spite of All the Danger"? Or
Yeah,
I think. Show?
Yeah, and
In Spite of All the Danger.
I'd never heard it before. I'll be open and honest, and just, you know, that was like, wow. So amazing, really, really amazing. And what led you? What led you to do what you do now? What's kind of been your life of work, if you get me? Because I've done a lot of different things over the years.
Well, so have I.
We all have.
The jack of all trades and master of none.
That's me.
But musically, I was always in choirs as a young kid. You know, I was an altar boy and things like that. I grew up in the Catholic faith, which is still play. In fact, no, I've just recently stopped playing the guitar in church after 40 odd years. Wow. But funny enough, I've always been involved in music. I was singing in choirs. We made records, funnily enough, when I was in 13, 14 years old. And then I started singing with Knowsley, you know, the older group, the Chorale. I was always involved with a group of lads, and some of them have gone on to be actors, some of them stayed in the music. So, and then I went to A to C. I bought my first guitar down in South America for $5.
Wow. I
only threw that out about 3 years ago because it was at my mother's house that my sister had, and she died, passed away. Oh. And as I was clearing the loft out, I found it. But it was in such a state, I thought, it's got to go to the tip now.
Wow, so,
but that was down in, I can't remember if it was Chile or Peru who bought it, because I used to go down to South America a lot in the early 70s.
And sorry, I might have missed that. What led you there?
I think when I was at school, I was expected. My brother was very clever at school, and I came into the school just as he was leaving, and all the teachers expected the world of me. I was clever, like, don't get me wrong, I was good, but I just hated the fact I'm trying to live up to my brother's reputation all the time, because the teachers expected it of me. And in the end, I just got so fed up and I said, I'm leaving, I'm going away to sea. I just went away to sea. But I did go back into education much later on in the university and that, so, but yeah, I don't think I was ready for academia at that point, to be honest with you. So
it's good. It's good. Obviously, of course, education is good, knowledge is good, but equally, we're learning anyway.
Yeah, and I thought that was the best education for me at the time. Yeah. I learned a lot more travelling the world, seeing how other cultures live, and even the different type of music down in South America, Central America, what was on at the time as well.
Wow. Do you find that, of course, that experience of the travel you did and different cultures, do you find that helps you with what you do now? I should imagine it does. Or?
It probably does, but
yeah.
I don't sort of connect it.
Yeah.
But I think it was just growing up, generally. You know, that was my life experience. Then I went to work in a factory for a while, and then I went to work for the local authority for about 12 years, and then I had the opportunity to do my blue badge. I was doing a bit of guiding, but then I had the opportunity to do my blue badge. And then what happens when I was working with the local authority, whenever, you know, the way you have twin towns with places, ours was Bad Moors in Germany.
Oh, okay.
So we used to send lots of school kids over, and he'd always come and ask me, would I go and get them a tour around Liverpool? I was the most knowledgeable, I suppose, at the time.
Yeah.
So they just take me off my job to go and spend a day or two with these kids from Germany. It happened like quite regular, actually. So I thought, I wouldn't mind doing this probably. Like, so that's how. And then it came up that I had the chance to take early retirements. There was lots of, in 2011 that was, there was lots of cutbacks with the local authorities. And they just asked me, did I want to leave? They offered me double payments, so I said yeah. So it was like a double whammy, and a lot of people were thinking, oh, they'll do that again, so we'll hang fire a bit, but they never done it again. So I just at the last minute said, I'm going to do this full time. So I had the chance to do the blue badge. You know, I think it cost about £5,000. It does cost a lot of money to do, but it is like doing a degree again. So you'd have to have a wide knowledge of, you know, the history of England, so musical knowledge, you know, it's just a bit of everything really to pass all the exams, and then specialise yourself in whatever you want to do. And of course, Liverpool, for me, was definitely music and architecture. So.
Do you do a little bit on football at all at times? Is that?
Yeah, funnily enough, when the cruise liners start coming in fact, the first ones are coming in the end of March, and we normally get, they're mostly Americans on them, so they want to go to Anfield, so we'll do a tour of Anfield as well. I'm sure they'll want to do a bit of a tour of Everton now with the new ground.
Yeah. It's interesting you said that second. Yeah. A drummer of a band I work in is an Everton fan, Rob Fox. So I think he'll be okay with me talking to you today. I think he'll be all right about it.
I'll put up with you talking to him then.
Well done. Well done. It's a draw. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, so I think, and then how I got involved with the Magical Mystery Tour, when I started doing my blue badge gag, that lasted for about 18 months, the course. The guy who owned the cabin club, Dave Jones, one of the owners, there's about 5 of them, but one of the owners was really, he'd done his blue badge years before, but he started the Magical Mystery Tour up as well. He's a big Beatle fan, and he was giving us a lecture, and he said, you could do it someone really, another person, but ideally if they could drive a coach as well. So I just put my hand up, and he went, yeah. He said, well, I'm knowledgeable and I can drive a coach. And he said, see me after this lecture, and he gave me a job straight away. So I was working for the Magical Mystery Tour for about 10, 11 years, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't technically, I work for myself now.
Yeah.
It's 2 years of work for myself, but I still go back to the Magical Mystery now. Still make that one. So.
Get you. Tony, I know this is the beginning of a future opportunity, because it is a limited time that I do in these videos. I don't like to make them too long, sure. because I know in life, you know, my audience, the people that are subscribing to this YouTube channel, like many people, they're busy, and I tend to think if I click on a YouTube video that's an hour long, I think I haven't quite got the time for that. So. And that's an open door for you to come back genuinely, because it'll be amazing. Without putting you on the spot, and we did have a talk about this, would you be mildly interested in turning the poetry, the lyrics that I wrote in... I feel like a nod beginning.
You know what, I was talking to a couple of the lads, because I know all the lads who play in the cabin.
Right.
And I was saying, I actually met him and said, he's wrote this great poem, that really needs music to it. And I was saying, I don't know if he's going to put music to it, but it'd be good if someone could put music to it.
Yeah.
So it started a little bit of a buzz about it, like, so I don't know if anyone wants to take it up. Like, but I don't think I'd be good at able to do it myself personally. But
okay. Well, if you feel inclined to point me in the direction of somebody,
yeah,
I can put music to it, but interestingly, because that's what I do, but interestingly, I haven't. And I think I haven't because I think it's meant to happen in a different direction.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting. So that's that's open-ended as to that might become something. I don't know yet.
I'll have another word with them when I'm
great.
back in again.
That'd be lovely. That'd be really, really lovely. And to potentially collaborate on something, that'd be amazing. I think in kind of conclusion, if you could you share with individuals how they can access you and what you do, where these things are available? I probably will get you when we finish images, links that people can go to, that type of thing, to put in the description so people can book tours and or connect with you. And after you've done that, I'm not asking much, after you've done that, if you can then leave us a parting message that's inspirational in regard to living our lives continually with a thought of some Beatlesque type message, if you get me. So something you can depart with that is going to leave us with a really, really nice, wow, that's lovely. And if we go with contact details and where people can find you first, please.
Yeah, so it's TonyCurley@hotmail.com, or you can go on Facebook and Instagram. You'll find me on them places as well. You should be able to get me on the Blue Badge Guide website as well. I'll have to check up though, because I couldn't find it the other day, but it should be on there, because you've got to be a registered Blue Badge Guide anyway. So, and this is a song, one of the Beatles songs. I love this song actually, and when you think about it, when it first aired on television in 1967, it's a song that we should be looking at today, and it's All You Need Is Love. And do you know what, to me, that was just the message everyone should be sort of, I know it sounds a bit corny and that, but I just think, the world's lacking that at the moment, so.
That's
a bit profound, like, but.
No, not at all. I think that's it, and the simplicity in the most beautiful way, as the song says, and of course you said, all you need is love, and that's it. It's not complicated.
Still on YouTube if you want to watch it as well.
yeah. Well, we'll create some kind of outro link. I don't know how I'll do this, but I think that's just such a beautiful message to conclude with. Thank you so much, Tony, and
you're welcome, mate. You've got my phone number anyway, and just contact me anytime.
Will do. Lovely. Cheers, friend. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
So, an amazing interview. I want to just say that the lights went out for Tony at the end, and I don't think I acknowledged it during the interview, but I think a light blew where Tony was recording the video, so plunged a little into darkness. But sharing light now, I was really inspired by Tony, by his good nature, the way he was, experience, real, as I say, insight, but also gave a lot of time to a lot of people from all over the world. And I know that's something that Tony and others experience through these tours as well. So for me, How to Make Your Own Society, released under the name Oversoul and the Architects of Passion, a combination entity-based group, if you like, a virtual group that I had formed together over the last few years. And How to Make Your Own Society was directly inspired by John Lennon, no doubt. Many of the things that he stood for, talked about, and not just talked about, but as I've already said, stood for. And it's a little bit of a slow grower of a song to begin with. So I wanted to share this piece to encourage you. Stay until the end, because I feel the alignment of the music and the pieces that I brought together from the incredible tour that we did with Tony and Dave, I think the driver was, and an amazing gift from Michelle. When you watch the two together, I think it's beautifully poignant. And I want to emphasise again, yes, of course, Liverpool, synonymous with the Beatles. The Beatles were worldwide, and they have influenced people through the music, through the various solo projects for many, many years. For many, many years, and I suggest many years to come as well. So I share with you now our experience and how to make your own society. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, share, and I look forward to being with you next time. Bye-bye. Manufactured, come on, John. Together let's teach peace education. Blueprint messages with more than a hint. Time to rip it up and start again. No man fabrication. System imagine. What's the next hymn then? The next addictive trend is sobriety. Rip it up, no more propaganda, stitching up. Let's make our own society. Addicted to comparison. Rip it up and start again. Addicted to comparison. Let's make our own society. Let's make our own society. Let's make our own society.